Welcome to episode 171 of Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stoven. He is Dustin Edwards, recently back from Seattle. He's got the Mariners hat on. And man, you guys saw the Rolling Stones down there with Allie's dad. It was a birthday present for him, right?
Yeah, it was super cool, man. Like wicked concert at the football field. Those guys are in their 80s
That's
and they're still fucking rocking and giving her. Well, Mick's giving her.
okay.
Keith's slowed down a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah, it was super badass. And then we had something really cool too. The day of the concert, we were walking around like in that Pike Place area of Seattle and
Yeah, which
kind of
is
down
the
the
market area,
street.
right?
Yeah, the market area. And we like cut through to go down towards the waterfront.
Yeah.
And me and Allie's brother were kind of ahead, and we were going down the stairs, and they were held up like Allie and her mom and dad. So we turned around, went back up, and they're like, "Oh, these people said the Rolling Stones are going to come out of the hotel here." It was right at the Four Seasons.
Oh, really? In
Like,
Seattle?
oh, we should. We're like, oh, we should hang out here. And pretty soon, like a police convoy came, and like the group of people started getting bigger, and like we're just in this little area, like a little turnaround, and
Just
then the
happened.
band. What's that?
You just happened upon it, like you
Yeah,
planning it.
yeah, we're just walking around, and then like the band started coming out, like the drummer and the backup singers and the organist who are like renowned artists,
Yeah.
and so people are waving at him and screaming, and then there was like a parkade right by where we were all sitting, and all of a sudden these two motorcycles come out like RCMP or whatever American convoy, and here
Yeah.
comes the black sedans carrying the Stones. And Mick's car was in the middle, and he rolled his window down and gave us a big wave on his way out. So
Oh, no way.
got a picture of him and a video of him coming out and waving, heading to the show. And then
Yeah.
yeah, we seen them, and then we headed out and went to the concert. So it was pretty cool. We were like, 10 feet from Mick's car and gave us a wave. The other guys were dicks and had their tinted windows rolled up and didn't give the people waiting any love, but Mick
Really?
did. So it's pretty cool.
Oh man, that's as close as you got to them because your seats were up in the high in the nosebleeds for the show.
Yeah, that's correct. So that was as close as we got because after that, the closest we got to him was about a quarter of a mile from the roof of Lumen. But it was
Oh,
super badass. It was cool.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the show was awesome. You said that they had like Glenn, right?
Yep.
Is Allie's dad. So
Yep.
Glenn had seen them in like he'd seen them three times, 1977, sometime in the 90s, or what was it?
Yeah. I was like seeing them at Commonwealth Stadium like back in the day. And it's like so funny to think of how people like in small towns and stuff used to go to events because he's like, yeah, we bought like a package from a local travel agent that had like a bus and a hotel, and
Yeah,
we paid like $100, and then we get there and our seats are like in the front row of Commonwealth.
yeah.
And
It
then
was
he said the second
60,000.
time he was like randomly in Hawaii in his like 20s and they were playing there, so he went. So
Really?
this was the 60th party. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I think for a guy that you don't see a lot of emotion from, when some of those popular tunes cranked up, he popped out of his seat and was singing right along. So it was badass.
That's awesome.
It's cool to see how timeless like a band like that is, because there was a kid sitting beside me that was probably 8 years old
Yeah, and
with
he
his
knew
dad
this.
and grandpa, and was like jamming out and was getting the secondhand smoke from the guy in front of me. So it's just so many generations of people that have enjoyed the same music.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, so you guys did Seattle, saw the Stones. The show was awesome. And then what? Then we had May long weekend, kind of been at home.
Then we had Charlie and
Oh
Nolene.
yeah. Yeah, you guys did. I had to friggin' leave.
So
Uh
as we promised Nolene, who is on the, what show was that? What number was that?
should have been
160,
170, right?
170.
No, that was Travis. 169 was Tucker.
So she was 168, I think.
Yeah, it's a little while ago now.
Nolene Hoffman. Anyways, she performed two songs on the pod live,
Yeah.
and the big one was that Purple Gas, which actually um, Zach Bryan just recorded. We watched the recording when we were having supper that night,
Yeah.
and had a ton of views on Instagram. So she was opening for Charlie Crockett, and we promised, or I made a statement in the pod about, oh, we'll come and we'll make pretty signs,
Yeah.
and we had to deliver on that. Neither of us made the signs. Credit Storm,
Yeah, Storm made the sign. But then it
but
got to the show. It got to the show.
yeah, and Nolene shared it on her social and appreciated it. And it was funny because we passed her when we were leaving the concert, but she had like security people around her. She must have been heading to like the autograph table or something. So
Oh yeah.
uh, shout out to her. Didn't get a chance to say hello, but she messaged all of us after the show on Instagram and thanked us for coming out. And
Yeah.
it was really cool, really cool show. And it was cool to hear the two songs, including Purple Gas, that she played in your living room,
Living room.
and then she played them at the show. So the song she opened with was the one that she played at your place, and I
Yeah.
looked at Storm and said, "We heard it in your living room first." So
Yeah. Oh, it's yeah, so cool and pretty neat. She's on tour with Charlie Crockett right now, and got a couple Montana dates with him too, actually, here coming up later in the summer too. So yeah,
yeah, I
just
think they played in Winnipeg last night, and they're heading to Toronto now. So,
yeah, and then I think they finish up in Montreal or something maybe.
and Charlie, he's a
Their
guy
part.
that his music's really taken off. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. He sounds like he's from I don't know. To me it sounds like he's like an old timer. Like I came across him just kind of randomly on like a country playlist, like the Discover on Spotify or whatever. And I got listening and then some of them started catching my ear and then I was like, how do I not know this Charlie Crockett? It sounds like he's Charlie Pride or it sounds like he's fucking, from the like the 60s or like
yeah,
70s.
totally, and that's
Don't
his
like
sound, right? He's got the
yeah.
old steel guitar, and he
Yeah.
uses like some brass, like trumpets and stuff in his music. And he
Yeah.
said he was really influenced by blues, and like when he walked up to the mic, he did like the Johnny Cash. He's like, "Hello, I'm Charlie Crockett," like really. And like his show, like the set was like looked like it was something out of the 70s or
Yeah.
60s. Like it was really retro, and I think that's kind of his vibe. And
And he sounds retro.
it was a really cool show. So lots of fun, and Nolene kicked ass too. So
That's awesome. What was the venue like with like at the Gray Eagle?
you know what? 10 years ago, I would stand and watch an artist and drink.
Yeah.
And I'm such an old crotchety bastard now that all I wanted was to do was to sit down.
Yeah.
And of course, it's all standing room there, but we stood
Well,
there.
that's
We had a good visit with Sean from the Flames.
yeah.
Watched Nolene, and then yeah, we hung around for Charlie till the end. And but lots of standing, unfortunately. But
A little
other
slow.
than that, like the sound in the venue is great. So
Yeah, the FM crew put a big L acoustics rig in there. It's like top of the line, like best sound probably in anywhere in the world, I'd imagine is can be heard at that venue.
but it was funny. We were standing by the stage, and they had like black curtains like draped off a whole big corner. And they must have had like tables and stuff back there, and there was security around it. And
Yeah.
me and I think Sean O'Brien were standing there, and all of a sudden the curtains come crashing down,
Uh-oh.
and this guy comes stumbling out, and his pants are down, and he
Whoa.
goes running into the crowd, and we're like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
Jeez.
And so we didn't know what he was up to in there, but found out he thought it was the washroom. So he stumbled into the curtains, took a whiz, stumbled out of the curtains, and then
Oh,
security
no
escorted
way.
him out. So yeah, it was pretty entertaining at
Oh gosh.
the
Just
old venue.
that's how messed up you are is you take a whiz on you take a whiz on the pipe and drapes that were
Yeah,
put up for something.
yeah. So that was
Uh
our adventure.
that's awesome. Man, and then that night I flew to Winnipeg and had a meeting at the Canada West Boots, the Brahma Boots factory in Winnipeg on Friday, and then was with an account that is based out of Edmonton. Shout out to the Gravity Pope crew, working on a few things actually with cowboy shit right now too, just getting some things kind of finalized and yeah, but they already buy shoes from us, so we had a good meeting with that crew, and then Saturday picked up Brett Gardner at the airport and went and did Brandon, Manitoba, the PBR. Shout out to Weston Davidson getting the W over
Yeah, that was
there.
cool.
Yeah, he did well and big full house. They jammed another 700 people into the West Stoba Place where home of the Brandon Wheat Kings for the show. 700 more than last year, and last year was considered a sellout. So pretty awesome show, and the tickets are looking good for this week. We have a show in London on Saturday. I'm actually recording today from the Pomeroy Inn and Suites from lovely downtown I guess uptown Grand Prairie.
Uptown. Yeah, you're uptown.
Yeah, we're in the north part of north part of Grand Prairie, just south of Keddy's, tacking Western Wear. And yeah, we set up at the Stampede today. We were there most of the day. had a little break. We had some lunch, but then went back there. It's like what, like 8:30, and it's Tuesday, and we just kind of got done. We got to do a little bit more tomorrow, but yeah, we're getting her all dialed in, Dustin.
Rocking and rolling. Another
Grand Prairie
big
Stampede starts
weekend.
Wednesday. Rodeo starts Thursday, so gonna be
And if you're not in Grand Prairie, come to Leduc. I'll be heading
yeah.
there for the Black Gold Pro Rodeo
You and
with
Sean.
me and Sean Morton, editor, and friend of the show, Dennis Halstead,
Yeah.
will be in attendance. So always a fun one there.
Oh yeah, yeah, Leduc, and that's one I don't think I've ever been to the Leduc Rodeo, Dustin. That's one
Oh,
I've been to.
you know what? They pack that hockey rink every night of the rodeo. It's a young crowd from the city and that area, and they just have a great time. And Mox's bring stock. It's always just a really good rodeo. They run it quick. Dave Rock spearheads that rodeo, and
Yeah.
and they do it right there every year. It's probably always one of my favorite stops, and I've been going there for a number of years now, and always have lots of fun with Denny. And we usually play golf for one day, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
lots of fun.
Right on. We'll have fun in Leduc.
Thanks,
Uh,
buddy.
yeah. We'll I don't know where I'll catch up with you next, but I guess next week I'll be in Kingston, Ontario for 2 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday we are in Ottawa for the PBR, and then Matt and Cole are going to be in Rocky Mountain House with Dave Olson at the 50th Rocky Pro Rodeo.
Yeah, we'll be going to Brooks for the pro rodeo there.
Yeah, the Newell Pro Rodeo they call
New
it, right?
Pro Rodeo, and then a Wednesday night for the Gleason Bronc match with
The same week or the
myself
week
and Brett
after.
Gardner. Yeah, the 12th. So a couple days later, the Wednesday night. So
Right on.
we got a nice little run here.
Well, then I guess a new one for us too before the next show is going to be the Stavely Pro Rodeo.
Yeah.
That'll be Father's Day weekend for us. New one on the books, but yeah, we are in it, Dustin. The season is upon us.
See you in September.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But we had a fun show this week. Once again, Keely, Bonnett, Shelby, Spielman. It was a lot of fun talking with these two, and kind of a bit of a, just a warning. There's a bit of advertising for their new horse in the show, but these two got a great story though, and I visited with them a bunch about our time, all that we all went to school at different times in New Mexico and Hobbs, America, but. It was fun to kind of catch up and reminisce on some of that stuff. We were there at different times, but that was a lot of fun. And Dustin, you guys had a good chat after that too.
Yeah, it was really cool to talk about their horse and and them mixing in some stories of on the road and rodeoing and life. So yeah, cool to chat with two really good rodeo athletes and two really nice people as well. And CFR cowboy cowgirls and great horse people. And yeah, it was lots of fun to chat about Canunish and excited to have a listen. So we hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Once again, this is Cowboy Shit. My name's Ted Stoven. He's Dustin Edwards. This is episode 171. Thanks for joining us.
All right, welcome to Cowboy Shit with Dustin and Ted, and we got some really special guests on the show today. Keely Bonnett, Shelby Spielman are joining us, and if you're in the rodeo community, you'd be living under a rock if you didn't know either of their names. Of course, very successful athletes in professional rodeo. Keely on the team roping side, Shelby on the barrel racing side, and together now on a really cool adventure in the horse breeding world that we're going to chat about today. But first off, guys, thanks for joining us on the Cowboy Shit podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so Ted, we got to kind of go back to how this started because this was kind of a not the usual way we bring on our guests, and especially this topic. And we were chatting off the air about how they've kind of taken to social media to work on this stallion project up here. And Keely kind of reached out to you on social media, and now we've got a show because of it.
Yeah, so he actually admitted to listening to the podcast before being on it, which is pretty cool because not everybody does that. So kudos, Keely. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
heck yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna say, what's your favorite episode? Putting you on the spot.
Oh gosh. I'm pretty big. Actually, the very first time I listened after the Roland McFadden episode,
Oh
I
yeah.
actually went back, mainly Team Roper, listened to Team Roper, and then I
Yeah.
pretty much I want to say that was near the beginning, sort of.
Yeah, he
And
was
then I
pretty early
went back
on.
and listened. Yeah. And then obviously the Zeke Thurston one. He's pretty hard not to listen to, that guy.
Fair. And that was a while ago now too. Although we've had him on
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, I've listened to both of them. The Jeremy Bueller one.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think I want to say there's only been 2 Team Ropers, so I've definitely listened to both of those.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry about
I guess
the lack of team ropers.
no,
I'm
heck,
surprised
it's
you're
all good.
listening with how few team
Yeah.
ropers we've had on. I'm
Yeah, all
impressed
good.
by this.
And then Shelby being on the CFR one, I was in the audience for that. So I've been in the audience and listening on the phone.
This is I was hoping that you're going to say the one with Shelby because I was thinking there might be some fighting if
Yeah.
if not.
And now you're both on it. Ted, I think this is the first time we've had a barrel racer, team roper couple on the podcast. So this is like this is a first.
Yeah, we've had a few barrel racers and 2 team ropers now. So Keely, you're the third. Thanks for making it work.
So
Shelby's been the famous one, so I've been just kind of waiting for it.
It's your moment.
Yeah, this is the moment. That's right.
Well, and the last one with Shelby, honestly, like that was one of the CFR shows, so it was kind of brief. Like those are kind of shorter ones. We get to really dive in deeper on this one and talk about more of your guys' career. Because that, like, to have you both on together, I think it's neat to like one thing I kept thinking about, and Dustin, you mentioned it before, so jump in if you want. But like, how usually Albertans are going to Texas and not coming back. It's not often that you get a Texan that comes to Alberta and doesn't go back. So that was kind of where we had to probably start things.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky, isn't he?
Yeah, you got to really like this guy to stay away from Texas now. Jeez.
Yeah.
Ted, I know you went to school in Hobbs. Have you ever driven through Dalhart?
Oh, I think only one time on the way to Paige's place. Would that be right? Going to where are they from? What's that town? Somewhere up north in Oklahoma. Because Dalhart's West Texas, isn't it?
North.
Yeah, it's
Like
like if you look at a
Panhandle
map, the top left corner.
Top left of Texas, like
Yeah.
northwest of Lubbock. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, so maybe I don't remember right now, but maybe not either.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's
I
not
didn't make it very
much,
far.
but
Hobbs, Keely. I only made it a year and a half.
Yeah, I didn't make it much longer.
No, they
No.
changed the rules because I took my last semester all online and I left because I was.
Oh
sick
no,
of-
yeah, I heard about that.
You heard about
Heck,
it?
I haven't seen. Oh yeah. I heard
Really?
about that. The because no Canadians after that were allowed to be online at all. I don't think.
So I wrecked it for
Way to go,
everybody.
Ted.
That's the rumor, anyways.
Oh,
But
I
I
didn't realize
remember-
it was that big of a deal.
I think that's more of a Canadian rumor than an actual rule, but it's
Oh.
still holding true.
Well, I'm sorry about that. It was kind of a sweet way to cheat the system, though. I was like, hey, I can finish online and still get it's on my walls, I think, somewhere. Yeah, up there. Yeah, I got my Hobbs America degree. It's on the wall. It's up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. New Mexico Junior College, Associate of Arts.
Oh, I got the same degree.
Yeah. So are we both artists then? Is that what we can say?
Yeah. I don't know if I know how to draw, but I'm some sort of artist.
Yeah, you're an artist with a horse, with a rope.
Yeah.
Right? That's art. It's 2024.
I
We can call that shit art now.
That's right. I actually remember, I can't remember what it was, but I know I seen you on the wall. Did you win something in the school in some sort of
Hold on.
This is turning into a show and tell with a couple collegiate athletes here.
Yeah, his back of the alma mater.
Top hand award from the rodeo business.
Oh yeah. It was
It
I'm
wasn't
thinking
that,
of
though.
something
It
else.
was homecoming. I was the homecoming kid.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep, that's what it was. Because you were on the gym wall.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
dear. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
That's
Sorry
what
about
it was. Homecoming.
Yeah.
Ted, you left quite a legacy in New Mexico, hey?
Hobbs America.
Yeah.
Hobbs
Yeah.
America. And I went to school there when Dustin Round was there.
Oh, you were
and-
that age.
Yeah, I was one year younger than Dustin. So Dustin went for a year, maybe 2 years, and then I came in because I think it was Dustin and Tatum, Patton, who's Tatum Peterson now. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Were
so
you
it
with
was-
Levi then too? Because Levi
Levi.
went there. Simpson?
Levi went to Hobbs? He must have been
I'm sure of it.
2 years before.
I could be
was
wrong.
I was roommates with TJ Bowles, though. He and I shared a dorm together, one of those apartments, because the apartments were super nice.
Right.
But then who else? Cheyenne Kenzie, actually, who's Cheyenne DuBlanco now.
Right. Yep.
She was there. Ashlyn Campbell, I don't think is really rodeoing as much, but she was there.
Yeah, man.
Jordy Nash, he was there the first year.
Oh yeah.
What else? He had a
It's been a
story
big
about
Canadian school.
yeah. Landon Hivenen was one of the ones that brought me down there. Stuart Kinley was at West. What was he at? South Plains, Leveland, and then, but I think he's as a coach there now or something. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he is.
So, did you guys meet there? Is that what happened, or how did you guys get hooked up?
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah.
was in Hobbs.
She was chasing me around all over Hobbs.
Really, Shelby? You went to Hobbs too?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no way. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. So, are you an artist as well, like us? Like, do you have one of those associative arts thing, or did you take?
Can't
a
remember
legit-
if mine was in arts or science, but it's one of the two.
Yeah,
She's
so you
got
have
one
a-
of those. She's
Well-
got one of the fancy degrees now from Texas Tech.
Oh, so that's where you finished,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then Keely, where did you go, or did you come home
Pinoca, right after Hobbs.
after Hobbs? But you got
Yeah,
you got
right
a
after
degree.
Hobbs.
Sorry, you couldn't finish
Yep.
online too. But you guys would have got
Well,
the roadblocks.
Tell the truth.
actually, after the college finals, I was done, and we
In
had a
June.
good college finals. So
Yeah.
I went home, and Doc, if you remember Doc,
Oh, I remember Doc.
He-
Yeah.
he called me in the middle of the summer, and he's like, "Hey, I hate to tell you this, but I forgot to enroll you in like 3 classes,
No.
so I didn't have finish my associate of arts for my credits or whatever."
No.
And I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't worried school was over. I wasn't going back.
Yeah.
But my mother thought I should maybe finish what I started. So instead of me finishing what I started, I had Shelby as a girlfriend by then, and she finished it for me.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
Beat
Yeah,
the
that
system.
works. That works.
I think I had 3 classes left, and I'm not very good at on computer stuff, so I talked her into doing it, and she finished it for me while I was at home.
MVP. Wait, so where were you at then, Shelby? You were still in Hobbs?
I was still in school. Yeah. I was a year
Oh.
behind him in school. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Okay,
Yeah.
so who else was there when you guys were in school? Because there's been quite a there's always been quite a few Canadians kicking around there.
Yeah, for sure. My first year was like
Devin.
Devin Wigmeyer, Landon Beardsworth, Clay
Oh,
Brownlee.
cool.
I'm sure I'm gonna forget somebody now, but
Oh, and I forget. I
my
just remembered Carmen Larson was there too at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then like my second year was Quentin Brandon, Tice McLeod. Trying to
Right
think
on.
of
Braden Lelick.
Braden Lelick,
Logan, was he there? Dylan?
Logan Delant. Yeah.
How did you end up
Um,
there, Shelby, from Dalhart? You probably had offers to go a lot
Um,
of places, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I did. Marty, the coach,
She heard I was headed there.
no, that's not the truth.
You didn't even know each other
Uh,
yet. Nice try, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually thought Keely was very rude when I first met him. So
Ooh. No, he probably just has a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
yeah,
that
that
too.
was it. Yeah. No, I went there because I really liked the coach at the time, and I figured why not start at a junior college and then go to a university after, make things a little bit easier on myself.
Where did you guys party in Hobbs? Because I got kicked out one
The-
time.
The parking lot at the hotel.
We did parking lots. We did the parking lot of casinos. We rented hotel rooms.
We got in trouble in school.
Oh yeah, that was a
Drinking
rough
in
one.
the
I forgot about that one.
apartments.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they do fridge checks all the while, like a bunch of creepers. They just come into your house and look in your
Yeah.
fridge
They didn't have to do a fridge check when we got caught.
because it was everywhere.
Yeah, I actually forgot all about that. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about it, I can tell the story now.
Yeah.
Everybody was
It was the end of the year.
it was the end of the year, just before Tarleton,
Yeah.
which was the rough part about it. And we no one was gone rodeoing or jackpotting that weekend. So we thought it'd be a great idea to have a party end of the year.
Yeah.
So you sneak your
Beer.
beverages in with your backpacks
Yeah.
as per not recommended. So we snuck quite a bit in. We were playing games and really just hanging out. There wasn't that many of us, probably like 10.
Yeah.
And it tended to get carried away in a hurry. We started racing
Not we.
Well, a few of the guys were racing shopping carts down the hallway. Why?
Of
Not
the
sure.
apartments?
Of the apartments,
What
yep.
floor were you on? I was on the 4th floor. That'd
Third.
be sketchy.
Yeah, I think we're on the
You're like-
third floor.
You're the same height
No.
as the railings in a shop.
Oh yeah, no, it was a terrible idea.
Oh my god.
We had a couple wrecks in the hallway, and we're making a lot of noise. And do you remember Eric? Was he there?
Oh,
Big Eric,
he's
the dorm
supervisor.
the dorm
really
guy?
nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was David
Yeah.
Martin still there too? Did he hang around with Sandy?
I don't recognize that name. No,
Sandy
was there.
Did Sandy
Yeah,
ever tell you
Sandy
about
was not impressed with us after that. But
oh, she
at the
hated.
time,
She was
she liked
not
it.
happy with me after it either. Like, because I got in
Yeah.
trouble for drinking, and she I felt like I was shunned for a while. It took a while for us
Yes.
to recover. But I was.
She really liked this. Really
Did she-
liked this up until that day, but
Yeah, us too. It's hard for Canadians to go to school in the Bible Belt of America when there's
Yeah.
like so many rules that we're not used to.
Oh,
A
yeah.
bunch of heathens from Alberta that drink when we're 18 and get up to
Yeah.
shenanigans.
This one just happened to be the end of the year, so we were letting loose a little more than we should have. And
So what are they gonna do?
Eric,
Kick you out at the end of the year? No.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem was that this college finals was coming up, and we both didn't get to go to Tarleton or that. But it all worked itself out in the end. But we had to. Eric came up and knocked on the door, so we were not hiding it. There was cans everywhere, and came in. I'm a little fuzzy on all the details, but I know he came in and seen everything, got mad, tried to knock on the door of a girl because we were in their room, the girls' room, in Shelby's room, and a girl was asleep, passed out asleep, give or take half 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. Couldn't open the door and get in, so he called the cops. Well, when the cops are called, it's not just the cops; it's the fire truck, it's the ambulance. Our school was lit up like someone got shot.
Like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it was bad. And then the cops roll up, the fire trucks roll up with the defibrillator because they can't get the girl out of bed, and she was just sleeping.
No. Oh no!
They didn't shock her awake.
This is so bad.
Yeah,
this is so bad.
Claire.
Yeah, they get her awake, and everyone's fine. We're all definitely into one, but we're all good. And they get all of our information, tell us how dumb we are for doing what we did, and yada, yada, yada. Then we get a court date because we're all underage, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's 8 or 9 of us got a court date all together.
No way.
So we had to go to, what's the town near Hobbs? It wasn't in Hobbs. It was in
I
Lovington.
can't remember.
Lovington. I think it was Lovington. You're right. So we all get in two trucks and head to Lovington to go to our court date.
Oh, luckily it was soon. I thought you were gonna have to go back there or something for it.
No, yeah, it wasn't.
Jeez, you guys went to American court. You guys are bad.
Yeah, we went to court, but it was pretty chill, really. Like there was, like 7 or 8 of us, and we get in there, and the judge he went to school with a hockey player like Ed Jovanovski or something like that.
No way.
And so he was pretty relaxed with us. Like we got told that we shouldn't be doing it and all that. And then we ended up only getting 30 hours of community service.
Oh man, this is awesome.
Which
what a story.
Which it wasn't that bad. We got to work at that the building right there at the school, whatever that one's called. The big
the arena.
The event center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I worked the Tuff Edelman bull riding and stuff. I had to run a video camera. Like it wasn't anything crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So if you thought you were listening to this for a team roper and a barrel racer, it's turned into a ex-con and his accomplice.
Oh,
that wasn't even the worst part.
Oh,
yeah.
More.
Uh-oh.
Could we edit this part out?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
That wasn't even the worst part. Then the school was mad at us. So the school, the coach first made us run like 5 miles, which whatever.
That's minor.
We all had to run
an hour. So what?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Then we had to do
your athletes.
Alcoholics Anonymous classes online. Those are terrible.
Oh, you had to because it was during it wasn't during COVID where you had to like zoom in, was it?
No, we just had to do them online because we had to sit in
the
library and do it.
Oh man.
And we had to do that for I want to say a couple afternoons. It was like 5 or 6 hours. We weren't allowed to practice.
Holy
all the
shit.
stuff, but it all blew over after a while.
Well, because you're almost done the year too, I suppose.
Yeah, we ended up all getting to go to Tarleton. We weren't going to get allowed to, and then we ended up getting to go. Thank God. And
I had to miss a rodeo when I got caught.
oh
We
yeah,
had all the beer cans stashed away in like somebody's suitcase. Like we were like pretty secretive about it. But
yeah.
but Eric went into the room and pulled a bottle of vodka out of the middle of the like fridge. Somebody just left a freaking bottle of vodka in the fridge. So we got hosed that way. But I didn't miss a rodeo over it that time.
No way.
Yeah, but another time Dustin was driving us home, and like Dustin was the only sober one, but he drove us home from who's the guy? Brandon? Is there a Brandon guy that team roped there that went to school there a couple years
Oh,
before
I
you?
know. I don't
Forget
think
what
it's
his name
Brandon,
is.
but I know who you're thinking
Probably
of.
right. He golfs
He's
good
right
too.
from Hobbs there.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Gosh, I can't remember his name now either.
Yeah, me neither. It's escaping me. But we're at his house. We came home. We're going by the track and the school, like one on each side, kind of thing. And Dustin's like slamming on the brakes because Casey Dell Peterson was the bareback rider guy that was in the back seat with me, and then Landon was up front co-piloting. But he's slamming on the brakes, and Casey's like bouncing off the front of the off the back of the front seat because he's passed out in the truck, right? But then the cops are coming out of the school and come around and see us up to these shenanigans driving home, and they whip around and follow us into the dorms. And so I know we're gonna be in trouble if they catch us. So as soon as we get parked, I jump out of the back of the truck like calf roper style, and I'm 3 steps away from the truck as soon as like before we even put it in park, and then I run as fast as I can, and the cops I hear yell behind me. They're like, "Stop that kid!" But I'm running, right. I'm running for my life. I don't want to get kicked out of school. So
Yeah,
so
for
I
sure.
run to the building and run like up 5 feet, like 5 sets of stairs, right, like taking them 3 or 4 at a time, like just running my way all the way upstairs. And then I go to my I just slow walk to my room, just like speed walk, like zip to the room and go and just like fully clothed, just go get in bed and just like okay. But the cop chased after me, but then he went to somebody else that was having a party like on one of the floors, so he thought I would have went there. But I just bailed into my room and just hid out. And then eventually they all just come up. They're like, "Dude, that probably wasn't a good call, but we just got away too because we did the same thing you did after the cop chased after you because there's only one cop, so we dodged him somehow." Anyways, that was one of my better ones from Hobbs.
Shelby, do you have any unlaw abiding citizen stories you want to share about breaking the law or anything?
I mean, I was
He was there for that one.
when that happened, but I don't really open.
We weren't bad the whole time. Just one day. It was just a bad day.
I imagine you were
Oh.
sweating if they wouldn't have let you go to the college finals. That would have been worse than
Yeah.
community service, right?
Oh yeah, the call home to mom and dad about not maybe going to the Tarleton rodeo and possibly the college finals because I think I was either winning the region then or second. That was a rough phone call, but it buffed out.
Okay, one more question. I used to work for Sandy, or one more thing. I used to work for Sandy. I was the mailman for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
They paid me $7.50 an hour American to be the mailman. I still have a social insurance number from that job.
That's
Oh gosh.
I had fun in Hobbs.
Oh yeah.
I gotta run though, guys. I'm sorry to bail, but I got something else I gotta run and do. So Dustin's gonna finish up with you guys, but I'm sorry that I can't stay longer. I'm enjoying the visit.
No, all good.
But we got all our Hobbs stories out of the way now. So,
Yeah, exactly.
So I can bail out and then you guys have fun. But thanks for doing this
Sounds
show with
good.
us, and I'll catch up with you later on.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks for
thank you.
letting us hop on.
Yay. Thanks, guys.
They're never going to
Thanks,
let any
Dustin.
Canadians enroll in Hobbs ever again after
No,
doing
no.
this podcast. Yeah. All right. Well, it's just you're stuck with me the rest of the way, but that's all good.
Perfect.
I'm glad we got all the stories out from Hobbs on the way. So
That was a good first impression.
yeah. All right, so let's get back to business with these ex-con Keely Bonnett. So Keely, you came back home after college. Shelby, how long till you started coming north to Canada and rodeoing?
I came up here the summer of 2018 was the first year I came up for the summer, and then I came up pretty much every summer after that. And then COVID happened and I wasn't able to come up, so I got a work visa and could come up that way, and now I'm a resident. So it all just one thing after another.
So did you ever envision your life living in Canada, or did you guys ever debate living down in the States. What made the decision for you guys to call Canada home? Because as we talked about earlier, a lot of people do the complete opposite.
Yeah. I don't really know. We didn't really ever talk one way or the other. When I got my work visa during COVID, it was just kind of because we hadn't been able to see each other for a year, and that was exciting to get to come up. And I just never really left after.
And here you are.
Kept talking her to staying.
So how many years have you guys been together now on this adventure?
Oh gosh,
9.
9 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey Keely, you're the good books because you said the same number as she did at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
So you guys have had really successful rodeo careers up here. Before we get into the stallion business, kind of taking a look back, Keely, you've been a mainstay at the CFR in the top of the Canadian standings in the team roping, and kind of doing it with your brother along the way. And well, I guess there's three of you taking it on, but you and Logan have primarily roped together for the majority of it all. And through the CFRs now and the success you guys have had, kind of talk about the fun that's been your pro rodeo career since you've come back home.
Yeah, seems like it's fun every year. We always get good traveling partners. Like when we first started, we were traveling with the Grahams, and we had a ton of fun, and we were both having luck, and so everyone in the rig was kind of always staying happy. And yeah, it's easier when you're traveling with good guys like that. It's so hard to not have fun. You spend way more time with them than you do roping. So as long as it seems like as long as you got good guys in the rig, it's good. And then Cash started roping with Logan Spady, and I know he's somewhat from your country. You know how fun the Spadies can be. So there's never a dull moment in the rig, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And probably cool because was it 2 years ago that you guys were all in the Canadian finals together?
Yeah, I've made it with both my brothers twice now. I believe it would have been 20. We didn't rodeo 2020, right? So we would have made the finals in 21 and 22 together, I believe, all three of us. And then Shelby also.
Yeah, so all four of you were there at once. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get that. What's it like rodeoing with your brother? I know everybody always talks about the dynamics of team roping partners and the relationship, but it's got to be special to do it with your brother along the way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been roping since we started. High school rodeo, junior high school rodeo. He's really been the only person I've roped with the whole time. So I wouldn't know any other difference when other guys get mad and split up and change around. I mean, stuff happens, you're roping bad, but we've kind of just stuck through it, whether I don't really know the reason. We've kept having luck. So, I mean, we have our arguments here and there, but at the end of the day thank God for him. I think I've entered one rodeo in my whole life, and I couldn't tell you when we're going or where we're going ever. So if it wasn't for him entering, I probably wouldn't get there anyways. But yeah, it's pretty easy, really. We own cattle together. We work together. I mean, there's days you want to maybe smack each other around a little bit, but you just don't and keep going on with life, and it's good.
And he made the CFR without you quite a few years before you guys were together, right? In the pro side of things. Is that right?
Yeah, I want to say in 2014 or 15, I was going to college. We had kind of had an okay year, but nothing spectacular. So I just left the college, and he picked up, I want to say 3 or 4 guys, and just kept winning and winning. And I think he had Clint Brower and maybe Kelly Bueller, and then he ended off on the year with Rocky Dallin and just kept winning and winning. And then I want to say it was 14 or 15, he made the finals. And then we took a few years before we got back there, but thank God we got back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been cool to watch you guys rope and not only just get there, but be a team that's in contention for it along the way as well, which makes it fun when you got a shot to win every time you back in the box.
For sure, yeah. That helps a lot.
And Shelby, you've been right there along the way too. You've had a really solid barrel racing career professionally, and between CFRs and Calgary Stampedes, synonymous with winning up here. And how have you enjoyed your success in Canada rodeoing?
It's been really fun. I came up here with really no expectations that first summer, and I got in a rig with Colby, which is Logan's wife, and Chelsea Moore, and they kind of showed me the ropes the first year, and we just kept going after that. So I think I was able to surround myself with some really good people coming to a country where I knew nobody, and that really helped. And I had a great horse, so really nothing to complain about. And everybody seems to want to help you here, so makes things a whole lot easier.
And the exchange rate was really good when you came up here, probably. So that
Yeah.
that helped. And you
I'm
just
just glad I got a Canadian bank account when I first came up here, so it stays here.
Yeah, totally. You mentioned a good horse, and I heard someone say, you get one good dog, one good horse, and one good woman. But we'll say for you, a man in this case. And your horse was super decorated, had so much success. Talk about the horse that took you in all those Canadian finals and the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah, that's Hot Donna. Fame and Red Hot is a registered name. She was kind of a lucky buy on my part. I got lucky to have her, and she's a winner. She knows her job and has taken me so many places that I'm really grateful for. She's 17 this year, and I'm planning on breeding her to carry a foal this year, so she'll be retired, which is kind of sad and good all at the same time. But I wanted to end her career on a good note, and she placed at the last rodeo I ever ran her at, so on to the next chapter with her. But she's been very, very special to me, and helped me reach a lot of goals and things like that.
And where did she come from originally?
She came from Jesse Telford in Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's too bad we won't see her run anymore, but we'll look forward in a
Yes.
few years to see the babies running.
Yeah.
You made some big runs on that horse, so it's a cool
Yes.
story. And not only did you have a great horse, Keely, you had a great one as well, and another horse of the year in the C Prairie many times over. And talk about that great mount that took you to so many CFRs. So it's Cruise, right?
Yeah, yeah, kind of the same thing. When we bought that horse my dad bought him as a 4-year-old at a horse sale, and all of us boys were trying to talk him out of it. It's like, don't buy this thing, but he did, and for the longest time, he was a hard one to crack. Uh, he wouldn't lead. He was started, and the guys before us that had him, the Goldens, had him quiet and all that. But I don't know what we did to him the first few months, but he did not want to be a horse that you wanted to deal with. But then all of a sudden at 4, he kind of started getting pretty good, and at 5, he got really good. And I won some futurities on him as a 5-year-old. And then I only took him to one rodeo that year, was Armstrong, and he handled it good, and which is a hard place to take a young horse. And then the next year, I rodeoed him the full year, and he's won horse of the year, I think, every year since that year in 2019, I believe.
And was horse of the year
And
again
then,
this past year, right?
yeah, with Dylan, yes, sir.
Yeah. So when did you make the decision to sell him to Dylan Graham?
Would have been last winter. I was kind of tossing the idea around about it. He was 10, and it's about the perfect age if you're gonna sell one. Me and her had been planning on building a house for the last year or so before that, and he was kind of the one that I know if I could sell him would help us out quite a bit in that way. And I didn't really want to sell him because I needed him, but I know I'm best friends with the Grahams, and they've been trying to make the NFR. And Dylan called me and talked about maybe buying him, and so we kind of worked out a deal, and it worked out great for me to see him go to one of my friends that's trying to get to the NFR. And if it hopefully it all works out. It was so close last year, and hopefully this year coming up they'll get there, and I could see them doing lots of good together. And it's sure good to see someone like that riding them.
Yeah, and I think that was echoed by a lot of team ropers. And the reason I'd asked the story because we had talked about it, I think, on the broadcast about you selling him to him. So I was curious how it all went down. But it's amazing to hear how many people said he's got the horse that can get him there. And geez, they darn sure just about got there last year. So
yeah, it was close.
It was about as close as you can get. But
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's cool to see. And with that, I guess actually before I move on to talk about your stallion you got going on, what's your guys' favorite rodeo? I'll ask you both. What's your favorite rodeo in Canada to go to when you're traveling?
Mine, I think first would be Calgary, and then Armstrong's pretty close second. for me?
I have 3, I think. My number 1 would it's got to be the hometowner. That one's tough to beat, especially now with equal money and everything. That rodeos, there's nothing cooler than Panoka.
That's a season changer now and end of
Yeah,
June,
exactly.
right? With that kind of money.
Yeah, last year without that rodeo, I mean, it would have been a long summer, but that rodeo sure helped last year. It changed the year. We got to cut some rodeos out and be home a little bit more than we normally were. That rodeo can change your year for sure. But that one and then Armstrong, there's nothing like going to Armstrong. That's as fun as it gets. As far as performance, it's not the coolest after party or anything like that. Just being in the performances there is pretty cool. And then Lacrete for me would have to be up there.
Yeah, they're good.
This crowds are packed. They take such good care of us. They're good to every event. Like they feed you. They bring beer in for the contestants, and after the perf, they cook you a steak or seafood or whatever, breakfast, lunch. They're so good up there.
Well, they win the committee of the year in in their category every year. I think it's medium or small
Yeah.
committee, and everyone says, how do they keep cleaning up? And just ask
It's
the
crazy.
competitors who go there, right?
Yeah. If you've never been there, it's a place to go check out. It's crazy. I don't know where all the people come from up there, because you wouldn't think there's anybody up there, but holy cow, it's full every night.
So they bring you beer, but isn't it normally like
It's a dry county, yeah.
So
They bring in horse troughs of it. I think the closest beer store is either everyone stops at Grimshaw when you're leaving there, because that's the few days before, or you got to go to Fort Vermilion. And it's like 40 minutes away.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, they're super good up there.
The once a year that the beer's flowing in Lacrete and
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And it's fun because everybody's up there, because you're there on a Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday, Wednesday rodeo, I want to say. And then you usually stay because Dawson Creek starts Thursday. So everybody's up there. So it's just a big hangout.
Yeah, you get that nice north run to enjoy it a bit.
Yeah.
And have you guys been able to travel at all together throughout the rodeo season much, or do you guys travel with different groups?
We're pretty much, it really just depends, but we travel quite a bit together. But we don't enter together. So as long as our draws hit together, then we'll go together. But it just depends. Like the barrel racing, I don't know, there's like 700 of them, it seems like. So for them to get purse is hard, where the team ropers, you can kind of pick and choose a little bit better. So it seems like not near enough we get to travel together, but like we're going to go to Falkland next week together and stuff like that. So we still do get to go together.
We're lucky because there's so many of us that rodeo out of this area, this family. Colby and I go together, and then the guys kind of seem to go together, and it works out. There's 2 rigs that leave from the same yard every weekend, and we each wave on the way by, I guess.
Yeah, that's
diesel's
nice.
cheap, so there's no sense going together.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you drew a circle around like that Panoka area, a 30-mile radius, you'd have a lot of CPRA cards in that area.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Good place to rodeo from.
Yeah.
So I guess with that, maybe we'll move into chatting about the project that you guys are on together now. And I see you got the hat on there, Keely. Promoting.
We'll have to send some down.
Yeah, promoting heavy on the merch. But let's talk about the stallion you guys got going on. Canunish is the name of the stallion, and he's coming 5. Is that right?
Yes, sir. He's a 5-year-old this year.
So you were talking about before we got on what you guys are doing. Not a lot of people are doing. So kind of a brief synopsis of what you're doing with Canunish right now, and kind of the background on it all.
Yeah, so I guess the background would have been in 2021, I think. I had sold a horse to the Yateses down south, and I'm pretty bad on horse sales, of being once you bid once, you kind of bid to the end kind of guy. So I was on this horse sale, this solo select sale, and I seen this horse, and I've always wanted a hottish colt, but they're so damn expensive. I never could buy one, and I figured if I was going to spend that kind of money, I might as well do it in a stallion and see if we could make it work that way. And I was kind of getting a little nervous because I kept bidding throughout the day, and I'd call Shelby about every 5 minutes. I think she was up in Grimshaw, and I was at home for whatever. I don't know if we entered it that year or what happened, but I kept calling her to see if it was a good idea. And by the end of it, I ended up owning the sucker, and then had to try and figure out how to get it from Whitesboro, Texas to Alberta, which was another project. Thank God her parents are in Dalhart there. So we sent him to their house and they looked after him for a few months, I think. And then we went down and got him. But he's been super good. We futurity him last year. I think he went to 2 futurities as a 4-year-old and did good at both of them. And then this year, since I've sold my good heel horse, I've been kind of on foot. So thank God for him. He's kind of getting the brunt of the rodeos right now. He's kind of been bouncing in between rodeos and breeding during the week and then going to the rodeos on the weekend and futurities. And so his schedule has been really busy, which is good. And he's handling it all well. So we're going to kind of keep going for the summer, and hopefully it keeps going as good as the spring's been.
So got him in the roping box and
Yep.
breeding. Shelby, are you running barrels on this horse as well? Is it a triple threat here with Canunish?
Yeah, it is. The poor sucker is probably a little tired, but we started him in every event pretty much just to see what he would handle and what he would be good at. And so far, he's kind of taken on to all 3 events, which is a good thing, but makes it a little hard because we both would like to ride him all the time. But yeah, he's been pretty special so far.
So who gets to decide if he's in the roping box or chasing cans? What's the
Well, I was kind of thinking me, but there was a barrel futurity last weekend, so I didn't get to take him to Drayton, and someone took him to Claire's home for the futurity. So I guess her.
did he win? Did he win some money in Claire's home?
Yeah, he won a little bit, so that was good. But I definitely heard about how much he could have used the horse at Drayton.
Could have used him.
And you run him at the first set of spring rodeos too, didn't you, Keely?
Yeah, I didn't take him to Dawson Creek, but he's been to everything but Dawson and Drayton now.
And really good looking stallion, red roan stallion, real nice looking. I checked out the social media and stuff, and you guys are kind of using the social media platforms to kind of tell the story on that. And how important is having the social media to promote it, in this business now?
I think it makes a pretty big difference. And I know myself, whenever I'm looking to breed the stallions, I like to see what they're doing, what their offspring are doing. You kind of feel like you are a part of it whenever you see what they're up to. And I think it helps people get a better idea of the all around aspect of the horse. You can pretty much go and find a video of him doing anything on our Facebook or Instagram page. And now that he's had a few foals there on there as well. So I think it's important, and I think people appreciate seeing a stud that's actually being put to work. And we're just lucky that he likes his jobs and he tries hard at all of them.
And this becomes a business essentially, right? I mean, at this point now, you guys are marketing and you're hauling and doing everything. So, how important is the business side of it in this regard with a stallion like that?
Yeah, quite a bit. Like especially with the hauling and just getting him in the public, you always want to make sure, like, you want to make sure he looks good, he's acting good, because everyone notices when a stud isn't, and it stands out so bad if someone's acting up or whinnying, or that you can't stand beside him, or some whatever's going on. It stands out so much that when one does act good and you can take them around and be in public, or get squished in the corner at Medicine Hat in a little indoor or something like that, where they can handle it and they don't freak out. And you got to keep them looking good, whether it's healthy with keeping them fed up so they're not looking skinny. Like, you're more in the public with the stud, it seems like. So you got to try and do your best to keep them looking and feeling as good as they can. Otherwise, it'll look bad on you in a hurry.
So there's definitely a little more extra work when you're showcasing like that, hey?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and what is for someone that wants, maybe interested? I mean, obviously, as we talked about, you got all the social media accounts set up, Canunish. But what does the contracts look like as far as the stud fees and getting involved on it in that respect? Is it frozen fret? Like, what does it look like? How far in advance do you got to get in on this?
This year, I would say, is a little different than the next few years or the previous year was, just because it is his maturity year. We closed his books for fresh semen the middle of April. So that we can't offer any more fresh for this year just because he's so busy, and we don't want to be hard on him in that aspect either. But we do have frozen contracts still available, and those are $1,500, same as the fresh. And we've had good luck getting mares bred with that. And kind of the same deal. If you're interested in one, you can message one of his social media pages or message one of us. Yeah, we're pretty easy to deal with, I feel like. And we are really excited to see some of these foals in really great hands. So if you have a good mare or you're a really standout person, we'd probably make you a deal to get one in your hands too.
And saying this, you don't actually have to take the hat off, but if you're not wearing the hat of the owner of this stallion, you know, what about this stallion, you know, from a horse owner's and prospective breeder standpoint really stands out to you? Being a little biased, of course, but what really stands out?
Yeah, it's hard not to be biased for sure. He's kind of got it all right now. He's got the eye appeal. He stands out. He's the most athletic horse I've ever rode. If you're not ready for it, especially heading, or I haven't run barrels on him myself, but especially heading or something like that, like he's liable to blow you out the back door if you're not paying attention. For a little horse, like he's only 14.2, but for a little horse, I always thought forever my bay horse was the fastest horse I ever rode, but this one's got 3 more gears to him. So with that, like, and him being able to clock, being a double bred cutter, being able to clock in the barrel racing is something pretty cool. I never thought he would have been a barrel horse, but I guess he's been going that route, so we'll keep it going as long as it's going. But as far as the heeling, like, I didn't know what to expect this year, and with the rodeos and him, I haven't rodeoed on a 5-year-old since the bay was 5, and it can be hard to keep their mind in the middle, especially with him being a stud and other stuff going on with breeding. But he's took into the rodeos good. We were at Coleman the other day, and that's about as loud as a building you can be in. And he was acted like he'd been there 15 times. So it seems like his mind is pretty focused on his job all the time. And then with being as athletic as he is, he can pretty much do anything as far as the events go.
So is there, you know, and I don't know this, I'm not in that world enough. Is there a lot of people doing what you're doing with this in Alberta or in Western Canada?
Yeah, there's always been, for sure, always been stallions up here. There's I can't speak to every discipline because I've mainly stayed in the roping world as much as possible. But for years and years, everybody kind of had live covered. As far as anyone I knew, there'd always been some guys that would AI horses or embryo transfers on horses, but forever and ever it's live cover. Everybody does it, and there's still lots of guys that do it, and it works great. But for us, the AI route with wanting to rodeo on them, I can't just go and kick them out for 3 months with a brood a set of mares with me competing on them, and the money invested, you can't really have them getting hurt. But it's getting bigger up here for sure. Like, I've talked to quite a few people the last 2 years with people with stallions that are doing the same route. They're not doing any more live covering. They're doing a lot more AI. And I mean, both work good. It's just whatever works for the individual. But there's a lot more stallions coming up here, and the futurity deal is getting so good. It's hard not to get your studs enrolled in all the incentives and stuff. It gets expensive, but you kind of got to be into it to get people to want to ride your colts, and hopefully, as long as your horses are doing good, it'll hopefully pay for itself.
Well, I had that on my list of things to ask you about was, is all the incentives on that side of it up here with this horse? You want to kind of speak to that a bit?
Give her.
Yeah, that's when you move out of the frame.
Yeah.
Anything to do with the business, I'll just slide out of the way.
Yeah, he's enrolled in the CBHI, which is the Canadian Barrel Horse Incentive. We're on the wait list for the Super Stakes, which is that big race that you can run for a lot of money. He's in the Breeders' Elite Roping Incentive, which we're really excited and proud to be a part of that incentive. They take really good care of the breeders and stallion owners as far as the payout, and they take pride definitely in marketing the people that are enrolled in their incentive. So we really, really appreciate them. And this year we took a leap of faith and enrolled him in the Royal Crown Canada. and we're leaving tomorrow for that. So we're hopeful that it'll pay off. But this is our first year doing that with him, so we're excited to see how it goes.
The Royal Crown, can you do barrels and rope?
Yes,
You can
he'll
do both.
run barrels, head and heel. Yeah.
Cool. Do all of it. And and you guys are heading to that tomorrow. So right back to work after we wrap up here.
Yeah.
I think we got to leave bright and early tomorrow. I think it starts at 9, so we head down there first thing in the morning.
And I was also going to ask, you mentioned, futurities and things like that. And it seems to be, maybe I've just noticed it more in the social media world. Everybody's, I'm at a futurity here and there's events that seem like all the time. That business here, especially I think in Alberta and Canada, has really grown quite a bit in the last number of years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, I know when we first started going to futurities, there was only ever one in Edmonton during the CFR, and I believe Schmidt's put it on, and the crew at Northlands, I believe, and a few other people are involved. But forever it's just that one, and it seems like every year it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I think we got 6 or 7 this year, and they're paying good. And yeah, it's brought the value of horses up. They're crazy now. But it's fun. Like, you go compete on them as a 4-year-old, and you're just competing against 4-year-olds. You don't got to worry about roping against a 15-year-old horse that you're trying to beat, where they kind of keep it pretty age specific, and it's kind of a level playing field. But it's starting to pay off. Like, whether you're an owner that's hiring a guy to ride it or train it or just show it, with how they're paying, it makes it feasible for people to do it. It is still crazy expensive, but it's getting a little close to where it's feasible for people to, more like the US, where they can send a horse with somebody for 6 months to 6 years to get them futurity and get through it. It's getting closer. That we're not quite there yet, but we're getting close.
And for you guys, it becomes, obviously, as we said, it becomes a business, and now this becomes a revenue stream that allows you to do what you do and rodeo at the same time, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
as long as it goes good.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be broke next year. We'll find out how this year goes.
Yeah, we'll do a wrap-up podcast in 1 year, and
Yeah.
We'll see if you're doing it from a parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Holding out the help wanted sign, help needed.
Yeah, so I guess, chatting about Canunish, what are all the social media platforms if people want to follow along the journey and take a look, and do you guys have a website? Where can we all find it?
We have him on Facebook. His page is just Canunish, and then Instagram, it's Canunish 2019, I believe. And then we don't have a website, but we have an email address, which is info@canunishstallion.com. And then, of course, you can reach out to Keely or I if you ever need anything.
Keely, can you answer the email address? Are you that?
You're going to want to reach out to Shelby for sure. If it comes to me, I usually forward it to Shelby.
Well, it's been awesome to have you guys on to chat about Canunish and chat about your careers and talk about the all the criminal days back in Hobbs with Ted at the top of the show. And yeah, you guys must be excited. Rodeo season's kind of getting into full swing. What keeps you guys busy when you're not on the rodeo trail and now with this stallion project?
This year's kind of been crazy. We both ride a bunch of client horses, and then we have a bunch of horses of our own. And then since October last year, we started building a house. So we've been busy doing that, trying to fit the time in to do that, and trying to get it done. Hopefully we get it done this summer, but it's been a bigger project than we first thought it was going to be.
Are you building it yourselves?
Me and one other guy built pretty much the whole thing, and then me and my dad and mom and Shelby have done everything from all the electrical to some plumbing to painting, flooring. Yeah, I've been stuck in this sucker since October. I'm ready to get over with.
Well, I'm sure that when you find it in your little bit of free time now between futurities, rodeos, and all this, you'll get her done. What's one thing or one rodeo or what are you guys looking forward to this coming year in the rodeo side of things?
For me, I don't know. Last year, it seemed like a guy who got so busy doing other stuff, he kind of forgot to have fun rodeoing. And I'm kind of looking forward to just going back to being 20 again and rodeo and trying to have fun during it instead of worrying about so much stuff. Last year, it seemed like it was crazy going everywhere, trying to get home, work, whatever, which that's not slowing down, but hopefully a guy can have a little more fun and remember to have some stories after the summer instead of not remembering what the heck went on last year.
Shelby?
I guess, I mean, it's kind of going to be a different year for me without Donna, but I have some nice young horses that all season, and hopefully we can pick up some money here and there. But I'm really looking forward to riding some younger horses and getting them going, and hopefully I get a baby from Donna next year, and that'll make my world pretty happy.
Perfect. Well, before we wrap up, since Keely, you're an avid listener of the show, and Shelby, you've been on, you know that the big question that comes at the end that we ask all the guests is what your definition of cowboy shit is. So we need to hear your definition. I hope you prepped.
I knew you were gonna ask this, but I don't know. You got to go.
I think for me, cowboy shit would be a lot more focused on family for us. Doesn't matter what we do. Our family works together. We rope together. We travel together. Everything's together. It doesn't matter if it's a personal family or your rodeo family. As long as you kind of always got each other's back, it's pretty easy to be happy and have fun and accomplish what you need to. If you know your family's backing you and your friends that got your back, and just have fun. There's a lot more serious stuff than that goes on in life, and guy forgets to have fun and take full advantage of it, especially in the summertime. So as long as I can hang out with my family and Shelby be there, it's pretty good for me.
Good answer. Shelby, now
Yeah,
you gotta follow that. You should have let him go first.
I know. I guess for me, cowboy shit is just, I don't know, there's a lot of tough and gritty people in this industry, and hard workers, and I think there's a lot of people to look up to and follow in their footsteps. So those kind of people are the definition of cowboy shit to me.
Who did you look up to in rodeo?
I always think like Brittany Posey's pretty cool. She wins on futurity horses, rodeo horses. She does it all. The breeding side of things, I think she's pretty cool. So
What about you, Keely? Who is someone you looked up to rodeoing?
As far as if I keep it in the Canadian world, as far as rodeo competitors, like back in the day, the guys like Larry Robinson and Cliff Williamson and Joe Lucas, when they were making that afar, it was pretty cool to watch that. I remember being a little kid getting the VHS tapes of the CFR, watching them. And then the team roping world, guys like Rocky Dallin, and now obviously with Levi and Jerry, they've pretty much changed the way team roping is up here after winning their world title. It's so hard not to look up to guys like that actually got it accomplished and been there, done that.
Yeah, I got to keep remembering.
And get to be around them and know them.
Yeah, totally. I kept saying team roper, but I keep forgetting that you're a heck of a tie down roper too. So we can't just label you as
that one's iffy. Yeah, that one's iffy.
Is I guess now with the all around title change, is that something that you'd still be eyeing to get in the all around race now that it's called that?
Well, I've roped calves every year off and on. I kept selling my calf horses, but I broke my leg before the CFR last fall. So I don't think I'll rope calves this year. I hope to in the future again, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes.
Go chase a Canadian title on the team roping side first, and then
yeah, you got to chase Spady and that all around thing. So it's hard to catch up.
There's a good group of you in there, and it's funny you brought up the team roping in Canada, but the last couple of years, like even this year, like there was a couple of rounds at the CFR where it's like this is as good as team roping you're going to see anywhere in the world. I mean, it's a knife fight. Not only to get to the CFR, but to get a Canadian title anymore.
Yeah, like that. Can't remember what round it was, but I think it was round 3. I want to say this year.
Friday
It was
night,
like,
wasn't it? It was insane.
Yeah, it was the wildest team I've ever seen in my life. It was, and then that team I mean, it is good, especially them guys coming up here being Americans, because it kind of keeps us all on their toes. But they came, and that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Calgary and Brady last year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope maybe one day somebody beats that, but I don't know. That might be the hardest record I've ever seen to beat.
That's
That was
gonna be
wild.
tough. That was a wild night. It just kept getting faster and faster and faster.
Yeah,
They
it
broke the
was
record
crazy.
twice, I think, right?
Yeah, it looked like they were opening the fast lane all week. The rest of us were out there just trying to doctor our animals.
It was wild. Did you used to have the college finals team roping fast time? Was that you, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah, no, I think I still have the arena record in Casper.
Is that what it was? I remember years ago
Yep.
seeing that you were like had the record time. So
Yeah, I don't even remember what year that was now.
we
But
should have dressed up your intro. Maybe I'll go back and pre-record it.
yeah,
CFR Cowboy, college finals record holder. 30
yeah,
hours of community
that one's
service
so
at
far in the
Hobbs.
past. I think everybody forgot. Yeah, yeah, you can't forget the Hobbs part.
Yeah. Maybe I'll add that in at a rodeo this summer somewhere. when
Yeah,
you guys are back
exactly.
into the box. Yeah.
It's off the record. It's off
Yeah,
the
that's
record.
right. If you had to have, if you had to heel behind one person, not with the last name Bonnett, who would be the one person you always dream of team roping with that you haven't maybe been able to rope with in your career?
Rope with at all ever?
Yeah. There'd be some.
Oh gosh.
Man, I wish I could rope with them.
I guess. I mean, I've obviously, if I could rope with both my brothers, I'd be happy with roping with them. I've never roped with Cash at a rodeo, I don't think. But you said not a Bonnett last name, so I mean, Dawson Graham would be up there. He's about as good as it gets up here. I don't know if there's better headers in Canada right now than him. If it wasn't a Canadian, yeah, I guess you'd have to look at guys like Caleb Driggers. That'd be pretty cool to rope with that guy. But yeah, I guess if you're thinking Canadians, Dawson Graham's a hard name to pass up.
Perfect. I was curious as a team roping fan. I always like to know who other guys would like to rope with. But I mean, up here right now in Canada, you can't really draw a bad one if they're in the top 15 in Canada right now, or the top 25 probably.
Unless you could, if you're going to have fun and some laughs, maybe a guy like Murray Linthicum. That might be the funnest rodeo. And I've heard of guys that rope to them. They've had more fun than anybody. So that maybe be another one. He's kind of back in the old school. They call him the Godfather. So that might be another one.
Perfect. Well, we got your definition of cowboy shit. We talked some college stories. My definition of cowboy shit is a barrel racer who moves from Texas to the blistering winters in Ponoka. So, Shelby, that'd be my definition today. But it was awesome to have you guys on and talk about Canunish. Again, check out the social media. Really cool stallion, 5-year-old. We're going to see at all the rodeos and some barrel pens near you and the futurities. And you guys are hitting the road tomorrow. So it'll already have happened when this comes out. So we're hoping to keep adding to that earnings record for Canunish. And yeah, it's been awesome having you guys on and chatting, because all of our paths always cross in the rodeo world, but never enough to get and chat, and especially on this cool adventure and business side you guys are on. So thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right. So Keely Bonnett, Shelby Spielman, our guests today on Cowboy Shit, and Ted, who was on briefly to talk about all the law breaking and Hobbs. Again, check out Canunish. Really, really cool, big stallion project for you guys, and not a big horse, but a big project and a big undertaking. And you guys are doing great with it. So best of luck on the year in rodeo, and good luck with Canunish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for staying with us this long, folks. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Once again, I'm Ted. He is Dustin. And the NHL playoffs are on, Dustin. The Edmonton Oilers are down 2-1 against Dallas. Hopefully they tie it up this evening on Wednesday night. They really probably should have won last night. Yeah.
Hey, you can't rule out Dallas and Jake Ottinger.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wish
remember when we first watched him, that playoff series?
Yeah.
We went to some games. We had both had our season tickets that year, going all the playoff games.
Dallas Calgary series.
Yeah. And they lost in game 6 or game 7. Gaudreau scored OT1.
In overtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was unreal. That was one of the best hockey games I've ever been to. Like it was so entertaining.
Yeah.
He's like have Calgary win in overtime to face Edmonton in the Battle of Alberta in the second round of the playoffs. Like it was so cool, so exciting.
Yeah. And then we were sitting beside Matthew Kachuk's parents, like Keith Kachuk and his brother Brady was there. And when Gaudreau scored, Brady put a random kid that was sitting by them up on his shoulders, started parading him up and down the stairs, and I videoed it.
Yeah.
And I posted it on Twitter or Instagram that day. The next morning I had messages from like TSN, Hockey Night in Canada, Barstool, Bar Down, every freaking thing, and they all shared it. And
that's awesome.
And then it was actually cool because then they had the next day they were doing the NHL pressers.
Yeah.
And they had Matthew Kachuk doing his presser. And they like overlaid the video into his press conference and were like, tell us about your brother doing this. So it was pretty cool to see it go viral. That was my highlight of that playoff run.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I remember being at the Battle of Alberta, like the first game when Edmonton lost 9-6, and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is just bizarre.
Oh, Kachuk scored a hat trick that game.
Oh, it was so bizarre. And then Edmonton won like the next 4 in a row, didn't they? Like, it was just wild.
Yeah, I think it went to 5 or 6. It didn't go far, but
yeah.
But yeah, like, hockey's in full swing. As we're on the air, I'm watching New York, Florida. It's tied 2-2.
Yeah.
I think every game in this series has went to freaking overtime.
Oh, geez.
It's been insane. So good watching if you're a hockey fan. And
hopefully they win a couple more though, Dustin. That's what I'm saying. They need to win 3 more this round.
Yeah, and as much as I'm anti Edmonton pretty much all the time, 24/7. But I mean, I do want to see a Canadian team
break the curse.
But I just know that I'd never hear the end of it. And my paychecks do come from a different team, not the Edmonton Oilers.
Man, I just got to talk about a stat I saw though today.
Okay.
Darnell Nurse has 2 points in 15 games in the playoffs, and he's minus 12.
My God.
They're paying that guy $9 million a year. I just cannot believe it.
He needs to be in an orange jumpsuit with that contract.
My God.
They robbed him.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, and then you got guys like Zach Hyman leading the playoff in goals. Like, you know, it's not Draisaitl, it's not McDavid leading the goals. It's those kind of guys. So
it's wild.
Yeah, so it's good to see second. Connor Brown scored the other night. So
yeah.
Do you know who I've really been impressed with is Bouchard. Oh, man, can he rip the puck from the point?
Yeah, so good.
They call it the Bouch Bomb.
Bouch Bomb.
Yeah, he's unreal. So it's been good watching. If you're a hockey fan, it's been good playoffs.
And I know that like Edmonton's their goal is to win it all. Like, but I gotta say, like, to be able to tango with Dallas like this and go this far, like they've already gone a long ways. Like they've won 9 games in the playoffs. Like they've gone a long ways, right? They're in the Final 4.
Well, you fired your coach at the start of the year.
Yeah, when
you hired this Knobloch, who looks like a goddamn middle school
like an accountant.
Yeah, like he should be bean counting for MNP or something. Like not leading a team into the Stanley Cup Finals.
Top 4.
So I think he's an old Lethbridge Hurricane or something like in his playing days.
Really?
He was a player. So
no way.
I think he played in the Western League in Alberta. So
done a great job.
Yeah, it's been cool to see. So ticket prices are insane.
Oh yeah, so crazy. Hopefully Gator's not getting rinsed too bad on them.
Yeah, friend of the show is not having the luck with the ticket resale.
Oh man, well hopefully he gets to go and enjoy one. Like hopefully maybe he goes to Game 4 or something if he hasn't been in a while. Like go and enjoy it.
I sold a set in the Battle of Alberta 2 years ago in the Flames playoffs. I sold a set of my lower bowls for game. I can't remember which game it was. Maybe Game 5 or Game 4.
Yeah.
For $2,000, I think, or $2,100. And then I sold a game in the Dallas series for like another $1,700. So
holy shit.
Like it was insane the money you could make on your tickets back then. And I was only paying, $400 for the set or $500, but
that's crazy.
Gator said the Oilers are taking all the money this go around. He said like not much room to up the price.
Oh man. That's wild. Anyways, I hope they can win a couple more and get to the finals.
Yeah.
They've still made a pretty good run so far though. Like I've got to
we'll have it as our topic on the next pod. Either it's June, good or bad.
We will see. It'll be two weeks from now. They're either in the Cup Finals or they're it's over. So
they're golfing.
TBD. All right, Dustin. Well, thanks for doing this. Sorry to catch you late and push you back so many times.
Good luck to your Oilers, and let's have a good rodeo run, and we'll see you. We'll chat with you in another week's time on the next pod.
Hope to see you all out there somewhere. Once again, thanks to our guests. Thanks to Shelby Spielman, Keely Bonnett. Dustin, thanks for your time. Thanks for making work today. I know it's last minute, but thanks for getting it in. Sean, thanks for editing. Sorry for keeping you late this time, but appreciate you all. Thank you.